Hey everybody, kia ora koutou. This is Craig with the Google Educator Group in New Zealand. Welcome. Great to have you with us this evening. It's 7 o'clock in New Zealand, so I'm saying good evening. But also we've got people registered for this amazing session from New Zealand, from Egypt, from Nepal, from Australia, from Oman, from the Philippines, from all around the world. So we really want to welcome you all wherever you may be. And I'd love to introduce from Google Educator Group New Zealand some more people that are on the screen with me. We have the amazing Quaid, who's our technical genius running things tonight. Kia ora, Quaid.
Kia ora, kia ora.
Great to have you with us. So Quaid's going to be on the screen and off the screen mostly, making sure that all of your questions and your comments get replies to. So in the comments, we would love you to put your name if you're up to it. We'd love you to put your city, your town, where you are. We'd love to hear where you are viewing from. We've already got 10 people who have joined us from around the world. We can see that. So whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on YouTube watching this broadcast, please drop your name and also your city or your location, and Quaid will bring that up onto the screen so we can actually see you as a comment where you're from. We've also got Owen Martin, who's here in New Zealand as a member of Google Educator Group. Hi, Owen.
Hello, kia ora.
Kia ora. Where are you from? You got a bit of an accent?
I'm actually from Manchester in England.
Great to have you with us.
3 years.
Wonderful. Great to have you here. I think you're becoming a Kiwi, aren't you?
Trying to be.
Awesome to have you here with us, Owen. And also we have Eleni, who is from Australia, representing Mote tonight.
Hi everyone, so delighted to be here. I love New Zealand, yet to go to New Zealand. It was my plan this year, but clearly COVID had other plans. But delighted to be here to share everything regarding Mote with you tonight.
Fantastic. Welcome, Eleni. Great to have you with us. John from Mote, who is one of the founders and leaders of Mote, recommended Eleni as being an amazing person to share with us tonight about how to use Mote in the classroom and being a real teacher. That's going to be fantastic. So I'm going to get Quaid to just share with us our slides up on the screen here for us so we know what we're doing. So this evening we're going to start as part of our kaupapa. Being from New Zealand, we want to start with a karakia. So I'm going to get Quaid to do that in about 30 seconds. And then also we're going to have Owen from GEG New Zealand is going to share just briefly what he's been doing with Mote in a short period of time to show you what is possible. Then Eleni is going to take it over. And we do have some prize announcements as well and a special offer from Mote. We're going to have some question and answer time, but if you've got questions and comments, we'd love you to drop those into the chat, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Love to hear where you're from, love to hear your questions so that Eleni can actually answer those through the night. So Quaid, over to you to start us off with our karakia.
Kia ora whānau. Me karakia tātou. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te tonga. Kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai. E hiaki ana te atākura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, ti hei mauri ora.
Thank you, Quaid. Really appreciate you doing that for us. So everyone, we're going to start with Owen, and I'm just going to bring Owen on. He's going to share a little bit about his experiences with Mote. He's from Timaru Boys High School. And so Owen, why don't you just share with us some of your experiences recently with using Mote?
Hi, thank you very much for having me. Yeah, so I first had Mote installed on my computer maybe 9 days ago now. I first used it to go through some feedback on Google Classroom. I was marking a couple of assignments for my Year 9 students. Out of all, I had 50 in total. So giving them feedback would normally be commenting on each section, typing different comments, occasionally copy and pasting to save myself time. So I tried using Mote for the first time, and the amount of time it saved me being able to converse what I had to say was, you can imagine how much quicker you can speak rather than type. And it was so easy to put it into the comment section straight through Google Classroom, which was brilliant. So I thought, and it really helped me convey emotions and emotional cues such as pride, encouragement, or concern, if there was concern needed, which there was more than probably should have been. One concern I had to try not to be as sarcastic, which I can be in the classroom, and that's not what you want to give on students' notes. What I found really helpful as a kind of afterthought after I'd given all my notes was I'd engage the text-to-speak function, speak to text. So after I'd given my verbal notes, there was also the text notes given in the comments. And that just really, after I thought, well, not all students are going to be connected to the computer. They'll be listening to music on the phone or just have the computer on mute completely. So I thought, even though I'd given verbal feedback, the written feedback was there as well, which meant that there was no excuse for them not to hear it or receive it. It's not like just leave a voice clip and they haven't listened to it because they couldn't listen to it for whatever excuse students had. So I thought that was a really useful tool, which I didn't know about until after I'd marked. I thought, that's awesome. That really helps. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out what more I can do with Mote and how I can really help it affect my students' learning really in the future. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Owen. Really appreciate you sharing that. It gives us a context to understand what we're going to be learning tonight as we hand over to Eleni. So thank you very much, Owen. Do stick with us. Love to have you here for the rest of the session. Thank you very much. Eleni, we're going to hand over to you and let everyone know that we're going to drop the link to the slides, the welcome slides that have the agenda on, because it has the links to everybody and it also has the links to your slide set. So I just want everyone to know that we'll be dropping the welcome slide link and that has the links to everything. So Eleni, without any further ado, over to you. Looking forward to learning with you about Mote tonight. And we're just going to unmute you, Eleni. I think it's on your side, Eleni, if you can just unmute yourself from your machine.
There we go. Sorry, guys. I was
Over
too
to you.
excited. I jumped straight in then. My name's Eleni Karitzis. I am a Deputy Head of Junior School here in Melbourne, and I'm also a community leader for the Australasia region for Mote. So I have the delight of working in a school, but also working part-time for Mote as well. And I've only been working with them this year, and it's really been amazing to work for a tech company who works with schools, because they listen to our feedback and listen to what we have to say and really take that on, which I think is really, really important, particularly for products that we use in the classroom every day. I'm a Google certified innovator and trainer, and if anyone has heard of Teach Tech Play, I am the founder of Teach Tech Play, but it's slowly been retired now that I have had a little baby last year, so trying to find a bit of work-life balance. So I'll stop talking about me and get on with Mote. So for those of you who are joining us who don't know what Mote is, it is a Chrome extension that allows you to leave voice notes, feedback to documents, assignments, emails, forms, and more. Mote's mission is to make feedback faster, friendlier, and more effective. We have over 1 million users globally, and Mote was launched in March 2020. Some people say it was perfect timing, but it was in the making prior to COVID, and it wasn't intended for remote learning. It's actually was created and intended for in-classroom use face-to-face. But obviously with the last 18 months, not so much in New Zealand, but here in Melbourne, I think we're getting close to 250 days now in lockdown. So I'm going a bit stir crazy. We've just done another 10 weeks online, and I'm on holidays after this. So I cannot wait to just turn my computer off and not look at it. So getting started with Mote, you simply need to go to the Chrome Web Store and search Mote and download the Chrome extension onto your Chrome browser. Make sure you have the up-to-date version, and I've got a little template there that you can see on how to make sure your Mote is always up to date, particularly at the moment with the Northern Hemisphere and the US heading back to school. There are a lot of new updates coming out in the next few weeks, which is very exciting. Mote works across all of the Google platform, including Google Classroom, Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Sheets, Gmail, and they also have other things that I'll talk through and show you tonight, from sticky notes, Notepad, the Mote activity dashboard, your Mote book, and transcriptions, translations, and STEM mode. So I'm going to jump out of this and go straight in and do a live demo. Now, no matter what year level you teach, this applies if you're using Google Classroom. So the great thing with Mote is once I have the extension installed, you can see the little M lives up here in my Chrome browser. Now, I don't have to worry too much about that. I can click anywhere in Google Classroom and you can see the Mote button appears. I can simply click on this and give a voice message to my class instead of actually typing a message. So good morning, Year 4s. I'm so excited to see you here. Second last day of term today. Let's get through this and hopefully we all get to be back next term. I know that's what everyone in Melbourne is hoping. We're back next term. It doesn't look positive, but who knows? Once I do that, I can then post this and students then will get this card where they can simply click on it. So good morning, Year 4. And it will play that voice recording for the class to hear. Students in your class, once they also have the Mote extension installed, which you can easily push out through your Google dashboard to students, can record voice messages back. So this creates that engagement, especially for students who struggle in the classroom with language, etc. They can voice instead of typing. I know students at my school who have learning difficulties. This has been a really huge positive for them to be engaged during remote learning or even in class, being able to record their voice rather than type and have that embarrassment of spelling and everything else that comes with it. Particularly students that I work with dyslexia, they find this a lot easier to just record their voice than the panic that everyone's going to see them write something in front of the whole class. Now, it doesn't just work on stream. When you do go into class work, and here I've got a little assignment that my students were doing on nouns, verbs, and adjectives. This works across any sort of task that you have within Google Docs. You can leave a comment in the, if it's going to load, it doesn't want to load right now. Oh, I clicked the wrong one, sorry. If I click on my student, I clicked on the template here. So if this student, for instance, in private comments, I can actually click in here and 1 second, my Mote button will appear. I can record a private comment, but I can also record a comment on my student's work. So simply clicking on the comment feature, then clicking on the Mote. Great work here. I can see you've really understood what a noun is, but can you go back and check your definition for a verb or an adjective? So I have just saved that and I can go in and edit this if I want. So by clicking on the pencil, I can go in and edit or I can save it. Great work here. Now I'm going to save this voice notes because I'm going to show you how it works with your Mote book. So I'm going to call this GEG New Zealand and hit save. Now, I have just saved a simple, quick little voice note and I've hit that and it's posted that there. Now, previously, we were explaining how you can add transcriptions. Now, I turned that feature off because this is part of the unlimited account. So when you first sign up to Mote, you get access for the first 30 days to Mote Unlimited, and then you'll go back to the free account. So the next feature I'm going to show you is in the unlimited, and you can enable this by going in here into your settings by clicking on Mote, enable voice transcription and STEM mode. And the reason I've done that now is that comment is a generic comment. And if, for instance, my next student here, Harper, needs the same comment, I can simply highlight the text, add my comment, but this time, instead of just clicking the Mote button, you can see when I hover, it says hold for Mote book. So when I hold down the Mote button, my Mote book appears. And these are all my examples of pre-recorded messages. So I don't have to re-record another message. This is the one I want today. So I've copied that and added it there. But I had turned on my transcription. So now when I click on my pencil here, you'll see when I go in, I can actually translate this. Now, I can translate this voice recording, and a lot of you in New Zealand, my screen won't let me go down anymore, but I can click there. It would transcribe it to, I'm not even going to Maori, the language in New Zealand. Now, I don't know how exact this is right now because it is quite foreign to me, but this is been added because it has been a request from schools in New Zealand. So I'm going to hit save on that and exit. And now when I add that comment, it'll have my voice recording in English, but it's actually translated that into that selected language. Now, if there are any language teachers out there, I know that in Australia, we rely on our students, particularly in our VCE, which is our final years of school, going on exchange overseas to immerse themselves in culture and language. And it's been really hard the last 2 years. So a lot of language teachers are loving this because they're speaking by changing the language up here in the settings. And just so you know, there is English New Zealand here. So for all of you in New Zealand, just change that. But if they teach, say, Spanish, they could record their voice in Spanish and then translate it back to English. So students can hear and learn that language by immersing them through the feedback and everything. Students then can also reply with their own Mote comments back to the teacher. Now, Mote doesn't just work within Google Docs. This is where it gets exciting. Slides is probably one of my favorite ways to use it, and there are so many possibilities. So if you have a virtual classroom, if you want to embed something onto a school website within Google Slides, you can simply record a message and embed it directly into slides. So welcome everyone. Please check out our lesson today and the board for what's going on. I look forward to seeing you all in our Google Meet live meeting at 9 o'clock. So by doing that, I've recorded a little welcome message, which I will post on our class page or our school website for parents also to see. When I insert this onto the slide deck, so no matter what subject you teach, if you have a slide deck, you can add voice feedback or instructions to students. Once that inserts here, you get this lovely speech. Now, you can go and replace the image by searching and changing that. But something that I love doing is I actually like to go and adjust it to transparent. Now, by doing this, it just allows me to hide it behind an image. And when I present this, students can simply click and listen. Now, the great thing with using Mote in slides is whoever is listening does not need the Mote extension installed. They just need access to the slides, and it works like a normal PowerPoint, a slide presentation, not PowerPoint. Now, another example I have here is something that I do with my upper students in, so my year 5s and year 6s is, this is a beautiful book called Float, where it has no images at all. So for this story, I had students write the story themselves collaboratively in a Google slide deck. So each student was given a slide to write the story. So they had to read the previous one and add on. But then what I had students do was click on the Mote button, record their voice and insert that in. After we had created the story, we actually created a QR code and hung this on the school fence, because here in Melbourne, as I said earlier, we've been in lockdown forever and parents haven't been allowed on site all year. So parents at the beginning of the year, when students returned on site, parents felt that disconnect of seeing what kids were doing. So we put it into a QR code, and parents then would scan it along the fence while they were waiting for students and could listen to stories that the kids had written in class, which was really nice to still build that connection. Other ways you can use it is through exit tickets. Now, a lot of these templates that I am showing you today, you can access on the Mote Hub, where we have created a range of free resources that you can go and use tomorrow with your class. So you don't have to make these. We've done all the hard work for you. Simple things like 2 stars and a wish, or having students add a photo of their work and tell you what they found was difficult by recording using the Mote button. Another great one is assessments, particularly junior kids. You can have them record the instructions and then they can go off and complete the task at their desk when you're at school. Because I know with your little kids, whenever you send them off, they sit at their desk, they say, what am I supposed to be doing again? So by giving them the instructions on each slide, they can go and complete tasks and also record their voice. So particularly the first year students, they know, then you can hear real feedback of what they understand through voice recordings. Having students read to you, take a picture of the book and then record themselves reading a passage. Other great ways for upper primary, secondary school is collaborative discussion boards. So having kids record themselves and place the recordings, whether they agree, disagree, etc. You will be able to find this template up on the website. And same thing with maths problems, getting them to explain verbally what it is and why they think certain things. Also, daily journals you can have using Mote. This is another template that we have provided for you on the Learning Hub, where students can go in and record themselves. Another one, which is my favorite from teaching final year of primary school here, which is 11 and 12-year-olds, is book club. So having students record and do summaries of the book that they're doing throughout the week, throughout that term. Other ideas, teacher weekly updates, adding photos, particularly if you're online, of highlights from the week and things they're looking forward to in the following week. So there's a range there. I'm going to quickly jump because I know I'm running out of time. Exit tickets, or if you use Google Forms for any type of assessment or feedback from your students, Mote works directly in here. So you can see here that I have already recorded a Mote message, but if I add another one here, you can write or hit Mote, ask your question to your students and hit done. Then what it looks like for students when I hit preview is they can actually click to listen to the question and they can answer back in Google Forms with a Mote recording, which is really, really handy, particularly if you want to do some exit tickets at the end of the day. And the thing I love most about is when you actually go to the responses and click on the spreadsheet, what it does is it opens it up with the direct links to all your student recordings. So I can hover over it and play it directly here. So you don't have to keep clicking or anything. You can simply listen to all your class feedback from a lesson or on an assessment in one spreadsheet, which makes it really, really easy there. Another quick little feature I want to share with you is sticky notes. So here I've just got the Melbourne Zoo here with different animals and things, and I want to get my students to do a project on it. So this works on any website. When you've got the Mote extension installed in your Chrome browser, you can simply click on it, and by clicking on it now, I can hit to record a message. So, hi guys, what I would like you to do is to explore this website and choose an animal that you would like to research for your project. Have a good look and make sure you pick an animal of interest. So by doing that, it gives me the link. And then what that link does is when I copy and paste it and open it, this is called a sticky note. So I can actually move this little sticky note around, or I can hit play. I'd like you to, and students can scroll on the website, find out information, and still hear your message. Now, if they do close that, it just goes and sits on the right-hand side of the page. And if they want to listen to those instructions again, they can go back and listen to it. I think this is amazing because the amount of times you want students to go to a website and explain things to them, or if it's a home learning task or even a task at school, they've got that instructions there all the time. Now, you can send sticky notes directly to Google Classroom as well, and you can do this by clicking on the Mote button and going to My Activity and Engagement. So when you go to My Activity and Engagement, what it does is it brings up a dashboard. Yes, I am 18 plus. It always wants me to, I checked everything but this one before. Just quickly log in. And here you can see, come on, you can hurry up. I'm running out of time. Don't do this to me, computer. Let me just click on it again.
You're okay, Eleni. You're okay. If you want to take a break in about 2 minutes, we'll do our prize announcement. So
perfect.
No, don't rush.
I don't know why it's not letting me in now. It's hating me right now. All right, come on. You can load. You probably just heard my daughter just got home as well from childcare. All right, it's not loading. I don't know why it's not loading. But on your activity dashboard, pretty much in here, you can see all the Mote recordings that you have done. It worked literally before I did this live. And I said this at the start. I think I jinxed myself. It just didn't go in right now. But all good. Will it let me in now? Probably not. No, it's having a little moment. That's okay. But in there, you'll be able to see and just share directly to Google Classroom. You will also be able to see and if your students have listened to your feedback or comments in Google Classroom. So when students, and you give them feedback on assignments and everything, they can use different emojis to inform you whether they've understood or need further clarification, which makes it really helpful. So definitely check out the engagement there. I did see before I jumped on, they were doing some upgrades at the moment. So I think that's what's happening right now. The other quick little feature that I just missed was STEM mode. Now I'll open up this document and share with you STEM mode. So for all those maths teachers out there, here I've got a few maths equations. Obviously, I am a primary trained teacher, so I don't teach secondary, but for secondary teachers out there who want to give extension questions or problems to students, what you can do is you can add comments here. So by clicking on Mote and recording, 8x squared plus 7 equals 0. So by doing that, I can then go in and have a look when I hit the pencil and edit. What it will do is when it creates my transcription here, any second, it shows me the equation directly there. And when I save this and exit and comment, what it does is it provides the voice feedback, but also underneath the equation for students. So it writes it in the scientific notation, which makes it really handy for teachers to use. And I must say the engineers at Mote love this feature and they have tested it. You can imagine how they've tested it. They absolutely love it and are extremely proud of it. So for any maths teachers out there, this will be a really big game changer for when you want students to do additional problems or answer other questions, etc.
That's awesome.
I have literally flown through this. Mote also works in Gmail. We also have new pricing. I'm going to just come back and stop share back to here. There's also a new pricing that makes it a lot more affordable than what it previously was. And we have just launched a new iOS app as well. So you can record Motes on the go. And then you can access them in that activity dashboard, which for some reason isn't working. Here are all ideas, resources, which you can access on the slides for further ideas. Mote minutes that you can check out if you need a bit more slow down of everything I've done. And I'll come back to this one in a second.
Great. Eleni, we might just take a little pause.
Right.
We'll come back to that. Thank you, Quade. We might get you to share your activity screen if you can, Quade, and we'll just bring down Eleni's screen share just for a moment. So, Quade, if you could share, if possible, your activity screen, because I know when Eleni was talking about it, you were able to show your activity screen. So this is Quade's activity screen, showing the things that he's done. Yep.
No idea why mine's not working, but you've got Motus and Unmotus there, and you can see who has listened to it with your students in Google Classroom, and you can search and everything in there. And that's also getting a lot of work done, which is quite exciting, so stay tuned for more there.
That's really, really clever. And I thought that converting the, in the STEM mode, converting the mathematics to actually the text, the scientific notation, that was really clever.
It's quite amazing. And, you know, Mote has really grown in the last 18 months. It started off with just working in Google Docs and Classroom, and now it's just continued to grow with slides and forms and Gmail. And, you know, a lot of teachers are using it in Gmail if there's been an incident on the playground and they want to quickly let the teacher know instead of having to chase them down or write an email because they're all time poor. You can simply record a message and send it directly to the teacher to inform them, which is so much easier. And, you know, you could write an email over and over 15 times where you could say it and get your message across a lot quicker. So that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. Just in the background, I'm going to see if Quade's able to also share the GEG NZ Facebook group, because we had a bit of a challenge this week. During this week, last week I shared about classroomscreen.com, a new app, a new website that enables us. It's just really a page where we can drop in anything that's online onto this one page. So in our Google Meets and our classroom sessions, we can actually have on one screen everything that we need to use in that particular lesson, from traffic lights to say stop and go, from a noise meter to interactive content to a webcam. And what I asked everyone to do actually, or made the opportunity for people to do, was post a screenshot of their use of classroomscreen.com. And we've got some people that did that. And I asked Eleni before we started, pick a number between 1 to 5, including 1 or 5 as well as an option. Eleni, what was the number that you said? Do you remember?
It was 2.
2. And so the winner is going to be Leanne Harris. So Leanne Harris of GEG New Zealand, congratulations on taking up the challenge, giving classroomscreen.com a go and using it in your Google Meet, using it in your classroom over this last week. So well done. Thanks for being brave and sharing your screenshot in our GEG New Zealand Facebook group. And Eleni's just chosen you. So what I will do, Leanne, is I'll reach out to you after the session's over, after our workshop's over, and I'll make sure I grab your details. I'll pass it on to the founders of classroomscreen.com, and you get 1 full year of Pro for free. Woohoo! That's pretty awesome. So Quade's showing that on the screen right now, some of our submissions that we had. Thank you, Quade. And thank you very much, everyone that's been commenting in the different platforms. Our YouTube, we had our comments were turned off and then they were turned on. So some people have been commenting in the YouTube chat as well as on our Facebook and on LinkedIn as well.
And Craig, I saw a couple questions that I'll quickly answer as well if you're happy for me to do that.
Please, I was just going to say, we're going to spend some time answering questions. So now's the time, everybody. Please drop your questions in the chat on any platform. Going to hand it over to Elena to do that.
I saw one about, is Mote 60 on how many seconds is it? So the free Mote version, you get 30-second recordings, but with unlimited, it goes up to 90-second recordings. In regards to cost, the more users you as a school purchase, the cheaper Mote is. So you can get it down to about $1.30 Australian dollars for the maximum sort of users, but you can easily get a quote online or reach out to me and I can put you in touch with the team to help you with that. We actually had our first New Zealand school. Now you're going to ask me who it is and I'm not going to know off the top of my head. Actually just become a Mote school, which is fantastic. So they have signed on to our new Mote program and costing. So make sure you join up too, because it's starting to take off in New Zealand, which is amazing. I saw a couple of people asking about physics and will it work with that? As far as I know, it does. I don't teach physics. It's been a while since I was learning physics. I think it was year 9 I did physics. So as far as I know, it does work, but let me know if not, and I can get the engineers to work on that. But definitely reach out. And if you are passionate about Mote, I might just share my screen again if you want to flick me on again. We do have a Mote certified educator, and we have just opened up our Mote Certified Ambassador program. So that only happens twice a year. You need to be a Mote Certified Educator. That requires you to complete a little test on Mote. And then once you become certified, then you can become an ambassador. So the ambassador program, you obviously get an unlimited account for a year, forever pretty much. And you can find out more information on the website. I think it should be running along the bottom of the screen now. And I have also provided for everyone here today in the slide deck, you'll see on the questions a nice link there with Mote. This link here will actually give you an additional 60 days access to Mote. So for that unlimited features. So when you first sign up for Mote, you automatically get the first 30 days of the unlimited account, but this code will give you an additional 60 days. So you can go 90 days with unlimited, which gives you access to transcriptions, translations, STEM mode, and all those other wonderful features that I shared, your Mote book, etc. So the free account pretty much just gives you the 30 seconds recordings, but unlimited gives you so much more. So please reach out to me if you do have any questions, and I'll come back and see if there are any more. Were there any more questions that jumped in? You can stop. I'll stop my screen share now. There we go. I think that was all, but can you get Mote for personal use? Definitely you can get Mote for personal use. I have it on my personal, I actually have it on every Gmail account I have for school, personal, everything you can imagine. And if any businesses are out there, you can also get Mote for business as well. So reach out to the team. Obviously, business prices are a little bit different to school prices because we always want to support schools. We know funding is always a little bit more difficult than businesses. So our school prices are very, very affordable. So check them out on the website as well.
Wonderful. Eleni, really want to thank you for being here tonight. I just want to check, is there one last thing or anything that you want to share on your slides before we wrap up or about Mote?
That is all from me, but please reach out to me. I share heaps of little things myself. You can find me at Miss Karitsis on Twitter, Instagram, Eleni Karitsis on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere, Facebook, etc. So reach out if you do have any questions at all. Always here and happy to help.
Wonderful. Eleni, really want to thank you for giving us your time, sharing your expertise and representing Mote for us tonight. Also want to thank Owen for sharing with us your experience of using Mote over these last few weeks. That's really fantastic that we're not just hearing it from one certain part of the school, from a primary school or elementary school. We've got secondary here as well. And just from my perspective, marking Masters of Education students with the University of Applied Research and Development, I find it much faster when I'm marking a thesis or marking a dissertation to drop in some voice notes. It just reduces my administration time from hours on a dissertation down, halving that time is really, really useful. It means I can give better quality feedback in the time that I have available. So it can be really used at all different levels. Also want to thank Quaid, who is problem solving and showing comments and creating tickers. And you can see on the screen here, he was live creating some tickers along the bottom, which are those banners that go along the bottom. And you can see there is the freebie code that you can use is at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you do use that to extend your Mote license so you have access to those full features for as long as you can. Was it 60 days, Eleni?
Correct, yes.
60 days. Awesome.
And I hope, Owen, you've learned something new that you didn't know beforehand.
Absolutely. A lot of new stuff. Thank you very much.
No problem.
So everybody, just let you know what's coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to ask our Google Education New Zealand team and our Google Education New Zealand members to share their ideas. So it is absolutely teachers for teachers by teachers, sharing their tips and their tricks with Google tools, sharing their inspiring ideas and real use cases from elementary and lower primary to middle to upper to secondary, and maybe even I'll drop in some for tertiary as well, some tips and tricks on using Google tools in the classroom. I want to hand over to Quay just to finish us off, as is our kaupapa, with a karakia to end our show tonight, end our workshop. Thank you again, Owen and Eleni, for being with us. And thank you to GEG New Zealand, and thank you to Mote for such a great evening. And thank you very much for what you're doing for education to make learning more meaningful, more interactive, and helping students amplify their voice, even as teachers are using the tool as well. So thank you very much, Mote. Matua Quaid, are you ready to wrap us up with a karakia? Over to you, sir.
All ready to go. Thank you. Me karakia tātou. Hā ki roto, hā ki waho. Kia tau te mauri e kōkiri nei. I ngā piki me ngā heke, ko te rangi Māori e taku e rapu nei. Tihei mauri ora. Breathe in, breathe out. Settle the life force, the Māori that stirs inside of me. Through the ups and downs, it is peace that I seek.